watching This Is Now. A challenging day in criminal court for former President Donald Trump. The judge clashed with his lawyer as he refuted claims his client violated a gag order. Meanwhile, a key witness said he squashed stories that could harm Mr. Trump's 2016 bid for the presidency. Michael George has the latest.
Former President Donald Trump left the sixth day of his criminal hush money trial fuming that he's stuck in a courtroom instead of on the campaign trail like President Biden.
He's out campaigning and I'm here in a courtroom sitting here sitting up as straight as I can all day long because you know what? It's a very unfair situation.
Tuesday, former National Enquirer publisher David Pecker returned to the stand. He testified that during a 2015 meeting with Trump and his fixer Michael Cohen, he agreed to be Trump's eyes and ears, suppressing stories that could hurt Trump's 2016 run for the presidency. Pecker detailed 3 stories he bought just to kill, including an apparently false story about Trump fathering a child out of wedlock, and Trump's relationship with former Playboy model Karen McDougal. McDougal claims they had an affair in 2006.
I have an unconstitutional gag order by a highly conflicted judge.
Before testimony resumed Tuesday, Judge Merchan heard arguments about possible gag order violations. Prosecutors say Trump commented about potential witnesses 10 times on social media. The judge appeared frustrated with Trump's attorney's attempt to explain the posts, eventually telling him, "You're losing all credibility with the court."
That's just another way of saying, I don't trust you. Where's your precedent? Where's your facts?
After the hearing, Trump posted on his social media platform, "This is a kangaroo court, and the judge should recuse himself." Michael George, CBS News, New York.
New at noon, 3 invasive coconut rhinoceros beetles have been captured on the Big Island in the last week. One was found at the Hawaiian Earth Recycling Facility near the West Hawaii Sanitary Landfill, and 2 were collected from a trap at the Waikoloa Dry Forest Initiative. CRBs were first found on the Big Island in October 2023. At the time, several larvae were collected from a private property in Waikoloa Village, but no adult beetles were found. Since then, nearly 150 traps have been installed near the original site and in high-risk areas around the island. Officials say residents in the area around Waikoloa and Pu'u'anahulu should be vigilant about inspecting any mulch or debris in their yards, and they are being advised not to move green waste out of the area. To report any sightings of CRBs, you can call 643-PEST. State lawmakers have extended a deadline to finalize the $12 billion state budget. They were originally supposed to get it done by midnight, but they've now kicked that ahead until 11:30 p.m. tonight. We're told lawmakers want more time to finish negotiations, which include a late request from Maui Mayor Richard Bisson. He's asking for $125 million in emergency funding for housing for fire survivors and expenses for the permanent landfill for fire debris. As of late yesterday afternoon, lawmakers were only offering about half that amount, and it's in the form of a loan.
New last-minute requests may have a difficult time, although there are opportunities with other bills once the budget passes.
Are you confident that Maui will have what it needs in terms of support from the state to take care of its people?
Well, the governor still has the ability to call emergency proclamation where he would be able to move monies to the major disaster fund. So there are opportunities for flexibility for the administration to still support Maui.
I think if we lose this momentum that we have right now, because it has been such a prevalent issue in our lives for several months, I think it will be lost forever. I think it's really important to take initiative now.
That woman lost her home in Lahaina and rallied with others Monday afternoon, calling for new laws to let counties convert short-term vacation rentals into long-term housing. Meanwhile, the group Lahaina Strong will be demonstrating at the Capitol today. It coincides with the final legislative week as advocates look to ensure dignified housing, allowing regulation of short-term rentals, and other key relief measures in light of the historic fires. Fire survivors with Lahaina Strong and elected officials will be in attendance at the event, which starts at 1 p.m. On Kauai, starting May 1st, county lifeguards will be at beaches longer. The Ocean Safety Bureau is extending its hours of operation at lifeguarded beaches to 10 hours from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. to help reduce the number of drownings and ocean injuries across the island. Mayor Derek Kawakami approved 12 full-time positions to make this happen. Kauai will be the first county to have these full-time extended hours of coverage for its entire Ocean Safety Bureau program. Pro-Palestinian protesters are back out at college campuses across the country, demanding an end to the war in Gaza and an end to their university's ties with Israel. Some lawmakers say the demonstrations have gone too far. Natalie Brand has the latest.
Pro-Palestinian protesters clashed with police on the campus of Cal Poly Humboldt overnight.
End the occupation now!
Police have been stepping in to break up some of the encampments forming on college campuses across the country, from Massachusetts to Michigan to California.
We're fighting against the complicity of our own university and the hand that this university has, and at the end of the day, we're anti-war. And I think it's really important for folks to remember that.
More than 150 were arrested outside of NYU Monday.
Free Palestine! Free Palestine!
And Jewish students at Columbia University say they feel some demonstrations have veered from pro-Palestinian to anti-Semitic.
We don't feel safe on campus. We don't feel comfortable walking around.
Some are calling on Columbia's president to do more to protect Jewish students.
While the leadership of Columbia may be failing you, we will not. We will do everything in our power to keep you safe.
Lawmakers on Capitol Hill have also raised concern about anti-Semitism on campuses.
The inability of college presidents and leaders in various states and communities to get a handle on it is frustrating. It seems cowardly, if not actually somewhat supported.
It comes as Congress is poised to send billions of dollars in military aid to Israel.
The time has come to finish the job, to help our friends abroad once and for all.
Israel did not and does not have the right to go to war against the entire Palestinian people, which is exactly what it is doing.
The foreign aid package also includes billions in humanitarian assistance for Gaza. Natalie Brandt, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
The Biden administration is preparing a new aid package for Ukraine that is expected to be worth about $1 billion. That's according to multiple sources familiar with the matter. They say it's set to be approved by President Biden after the Senate passes a new foreign aid funding bill as soon as this afternoon. According to three of the sources, administration officials have indicated the U.S. will likely send long-range missile systems to Ukraine for the first time. The package is also expected to include more desperately needed munitions for Ukraine. That includes air defense and artillery ammunition, Bradley fighting vehicles, and demolition weaponry. Sober drivers arrested for DUI. It can happen to anybody, even people who do not drink. Chief investigative reporter Lynn Kawano researched hundreds of Honolulu arrests over the past 2 years and found a concerning trend.
No one is questioning the need for DUI enforcement, but legal experts say jailing sober drivers violates their rights and doesn't take the drunk ones off the road.
January 24th, just after 10 p.m. on Moanalua Freeway near the stadium. An 18-year-old driving home is pulled over.
Hey, boss. So, pulled you over because you're swerving, huh?
Because it was slippery. I guessed it and it was slippery.
You were swerving because it was slippery?
You can see in the body camera videos that the road is wet, but the officer actually suspects he's been drinking.
Okay, I just look a little red and watery, y'all.
The high school senior refuses on-scene sobriety tests and is arrested.
Okay, put your hands behind your back, okay?
He is taken to the Pro City substation where he ends up taking the breath test. The 18-year-old blew 0.00. No alcohol was detected by the breathalyzer. Charges were not filed, but the arrest was on record because he is an adult.
When I was a policeman, I never had anybody blow 000s.
John Burge is a former HPD officer, now a defense attorney specializing in traffic cases. He was surprised at how many drivers are arrested but not intoxicated. HNN Investigates asked HPD for a list of all the drunk driving arrests from 2022 and 2023 in which the driver was not charged. There were 69 people with breath or blood test results of 0. No alcohol detected, but they had been taken in cuffs to the station. Nearly 300 total were released no charge because their test results were under the .08 legal limit. HNN Investigates got data from the Honolulu Prosecutor's Office which shows of the nearly 1,300 total cases referred by HPD, 949 were not charged in 2022. In 2023, of the 1,283 cases charged by HPD, 1,038 were declined by the prosecutor's office. That means 80% of the cases forwarded from HPD are rejected. In a statement, the Department of the Prosecuting Attorney said the office looks at the facts and circumstances and files charges in all cases when it is confident it can prove guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. So why are so many sober drivers being pulled over?
There was always pressure to make the DUIs, especially if you're in these specialized units. There is an unwritten quota where they say there's no quota.
Otherwise, what are their officers doing out there all night? Just sleeping on the side of the road? So there is pressure on them.
November 7th, Kamehameha Highway at Ka'uka Boulevard, a DUI checkpoint.
Yeah, I say your first name. Amen.
36-year-old Amen Fepuliai is pulled over.
I do detect the odor of alcohol. Drink it all.
Fepuliai agreed to do the field sobriety test, including the breath test.
Blow as hard as you can. Keep blowing until you hear a click.
Fepuliai also blew 0.00. There was no alcohol in his system. But Fepuliai was arrested anyway.
Come on, put your hands together.
Remember, the officer used the smell of alcohol as probable cause to get Fepuliai out of the car. But when he blew 000s, the officer said he suspected drug use instead.
Now their evidence is conflicting. And then the officer's kind of stuck in a position to say, well, is this drugs? And the drugs are much harder to detect. And the officers really need a higher level of training.
I felt embarrassed. I felt profiled. I don't smoke. I don't do drugs. I don't drink. So there is a problem.
But I don't know why you would smell alcohol and not have any alcohol in your system. I mean, if an officer has done that, that officer should be retrained or scrutinized. And when you're getting somebody that isn't drunk, then the drunk guy is left on the road. So that's a huge problem too.
HPD declined a request for an on-camera interview, but provided a written statement that did not use the term quota. It said arrest statistics are not considered part of an officer's annual performance evaluation. However, supervisors may have goals and standards for the unit to help guide the officers under their command. After our request for data and comment for this story earlier this year, HPD said the traffic division did then conduct additional training in procedures and operation. Legal experts have this advice if you're pulled over but sober.
If you're not impaired, blow in the machine, because that is your salvation. If you blow 000, we know that you haven't drank.
The 18-year-old was able to have the arrest expunged by the state attorney general's office, but it did take several weeks, and it cost his parents $35. I'm Lynn Kawano, Hawaii News Now.
You can submit your news tips to HNN Investigates. Just email us at hnninvestigates@hawaiinewsnow.com. After a rush of illegal hikers to the Stairway to Heaven, the city says it's dismayed that many people appear to have recklessly disregarded clear warnings. Risking citation and dangers, hikers celebrated at the top of the Haiku stairs in Kaneohe. They shared images from the weekend and told Hawaii News Now hundreds of people went up on Saturday and Sunday as a last hurrah. But HPD says it's illegal to access the stairs. No trespassing signs have been posted, and violators will be cited or arrested.
It's really disappointing to know that
place where so much growth has occurred, for me personally, is no longer going to be accessible is kind of heartbreaking.
On top of putting the work people at risk, on top of putting yourself at risk, it's really not pono, is really what I want to say. It's not right.
HPD says on Saturday and Sunday it gave out 60 warnings, 8 citations for second-degree trespassing, and 25 parking enforcement actions. On Monday, it issued 37 citations for trespassing, which is a petty misdemeanor. A city spokesman says the project to dismantle the stairs has started and expects the first module to start coming down next week. They say the stairway is an active work zone and extremely hazardous. All right, let's take a live look outside with our tower cam. This is looking over downtown Honolulu out toward Diamond Head. Lots of sunshine and blue skies out there, and it's very breezy. The trade winds are here to stay through the week. Guy Hagi has your full forecast, and we have a look at some sports as well as the final farewell to the last survivor of the USS Arizona after this quick break.
How's it on this Tuesday? The breezy trade winds will continue buffeting the state for the next several days, probably through the weekend. And we'll have those windward and Mauka showers in the overnight and early morning hours. Every night should be a little damp from time to time, going into the morning hours like this morning. But we're expecting fewer showers for leeward sides and much drier conditions by the middle of the day into the afternoon. And those winds, well, they'll be running swift, especially from Maui to Kauai. Lighter winds in Kona, but out in the Kohala area, it's going to be pretty windy too. So we got rainbow conditions in the morning, especially with those scattered showers moving through. Again, lots of afternoon sunshine for those leeward areas, high temperatures running into the low 80s. So beautiful run of weather. Surf, not so great. It's pretty small out there, although we're expecting minor pulses coming into the North Shore over the next couple of days, nothing significant. And east shores will remain choppy for the next several days because of those breezy winds, which aren't going to quit anytime soon. They're going to be running 15 to 25 today, all the way through Saturday, easing up slightly over the early part of next week. And we'll have those windward and Mauka showers. A slight increase in those showers expected Wednesday and Thursday. But again, leeward sides won't see a whole lot of rain. And it's not the kind of flooding rain. It's just going to be moving through rather quickly because of those breezy winds.
Even though April is Tsunami Awareness Month here in Hawaii, there is never a wrong time to be prepared in case of a tsunami. If it's been a while, let's sit down together and review your safety plan. The most important thing here is learning if you are in the zone. Check your home, workplace, and school to see if they are in immediate danger in case of a tsunami. The easiest way to do this is to look up tsunami evacuation zones. The first result on Google will be an official NOAA website outlining whether you are safe, in immediate danger, or in immediate danger in case of an extreme tsunami. Extreme tsunamis, in this case, have been simulated but not historically observed. In case of a large, even unprecedented tsunami, it is best to evacuate these yellow areas as well. When evacuating, remember to head Mauka to higher elevation and away from the sea. Now that we know our zones, let's talk about what to do in case of a tsunami-producing earthquake. The best thing you can do is know the natural warning signs of a tsunami and when to feel, listen, and look. First up, know the feeling. If the ground is shaking and you are having difficulty standing, take that as a sign to evacuate. Do this also if the shaking continues for at least 20 seconds or more. Next up, listen. Tsunamis often make a loud roar as they are approaching, often described as if a freight train is heading towards you. And finally, look. If you see a sudden change in sea level that lasts several minutes, a large wave may follow. If the water recedes out, leaving a lot of the beach exposed, do not walk out into the water. Start heading Mauka. It's always a good idea to also have multiple ways to receive alerts in case the tsunami is being generated from a distant earthquake. Hawaii needs to be extra cautious of the threat of tsunamis, considering we have to watch for both distant and local sources. A distant earthquake could take several hours for a tsunami to reach the islands. However, it would only take a tsunami wave roughly 2 minutes to reach Kalapana. If there were an earthquake off the southeastern coast of the Big Island, it would only take 46 minutes to then reach Honolulu. If you want to learn more, the Hawaii Sea Grant Program released an in-depth video on all the tsunami hazards we face here on the island chain. I highly recommend watching it and reviewing your safety plan. You can find it linked on our website, hawaiinewsnow.com. And reporting in studio, Drew Davis.
UH's Tread Rosenthal received a big honor from the Big West this morning. The setter from Manhattan Beach, California, was named Freshman of the Year. He is the first bow to receive this honor from the Big West and just the fourth to win Conference Freshman of the Year in program history. Rosenthal started all 30 matches this season and led the team with 41 service aces and 10.08 assists. Rosenthal was also named to the All Big West First Team and won Freshman of the Week a record 6 times throughout the season. A final salute to the last living survivor of the USS Arizona. Lou Conter died earlier this month at the age of 102. Casey Lund takes us to Pearl Harbor.
Here at Pearl Harbor, a relatively small group of mostly military dignitaries loaded onto that Navy vessel, that passenger boat that takes people out to the USS Arizona to pay their respects. Well, this was a special trip on an important day for a very special man.
Lou Conter was an incredible Navy serviceman, and his death now reflects on the fact that we have no further survivors of the battleship Arizona from the attack on Pearl Harbor.
Vice Admiral Blake Converse is Deputy Commander of the U.S. Pacific Fleet. He spoke at the ceremony about Conter's legacy as a single white dove was released.
The dove reflects on, I think, what Lou would tell you was his goal, and that is global peace and security, and the hope that we can continue that.
A lieutenant commander and Navy pilot, Conter played a key role in creating the Navy's SEER, or Survival, Resistance, Evasion, and Escape School, ensuring Navy pilots had the skills to survive if they went down.
The legacy and that tradition needs to live on through the National Park Service and through the work of the United States Navy and all of our services to continue to support and defend this nation and to continue to work towards global peace and security.
The ceremony was in tribute of the passing of the last of the over 1,500 service members that served aboard the USS Arizona and have left a legacy of service, of sacrifice, and those that lived through also committed to a legacy of hope for the future, that others don't have to face that tragedy.
Dave Kilton from the National Park Service says keeping the memories of great Americans like Lou Conter alive, sharing their stories with future generations, is a responsibility he doesn't take lightly.
We get the opportunity to have visitors come, 1.7 million every year that come, and we get to help them to connect with that legacy and that sacrifice and honor and remember those.
While Conter's human remains rest in California, it's reasonable to believe a big part of his spirit will always be here.
It was very moving. I've spent many events out here on this wonderful Arizona Memorial, but I will tell you that it couldn't be more impactful to me to recognize this great American and recognize the passing of a legacy with no more survivors of Arizona.
That flag at the USS Arizona Memorial that was lowered to half staff when Lou Conter died on April 1st, raised back up at 3:45 when today's ceremony officially concluded. We have much more coverage online at HawaiiNewsNow.com. Reporting at Pearl Harbor, I'm Casey Lund. For now, we'll send things back into the studio.
News coming up first at 4 on KHNL. Aloha.